What's up, y'all? My name is EW Buckley, and if you have been watching this YouTube channel for a long time, then you know that I mainly focus on creating tutorials around Ableton Live and its stock devices. Now, what you may not know is that this isn't my full-time job. I am primarily a professional composer, producer, and educator. There are certain aspects of the composition process that I haven't really covered on this channel because, frankly, Ableton Live has not historically been the best for those aspects. Specifically, Ableton Live used to suck for orchestration. Now I tell my students all the time, and I'm telling you, that Ableton Live is often decades ahead of other DAWs in certain areas and decades behind DAWs in other areas. It's rarely ever in between. And for a long time, orchestration was one of those areas where Ableton Live was just really far behind. And the reason for that being is orchestration, when using an orchestra, you're managing a ton of tracks at once. And to be able to successfully do that, especially in a time-efficient manner for a professional job, you have to have a workflow that is efficient. And Live was missing a number of workflow features for a long time. It took us until Live 10 to be able to edit multiple MIDI clips together at once. It also took us until Live 10 to actually have subgroups within groups. And when you're dealing with mixing orchestra, you need subgroups nested within groups. Now, the final major leap that finally made Ableton Live good for orchestrating, in my opinion, came with Live 12. Specifically, the advanced MIDI editing tools, which, if you're curious to learn about those, I'm going to link to a video in the card above where I go over one such tool. But the most consequential update is the addition of CC control. Now, this simple device rectifies a major oversight in Live's design. Before CC control, the only way that you could automate MIDI CC messages was through clip envelopes. And that is so counterintuitive because one of the best parts about Live is how effortless it is to automate parameters on the timeline. And so CC control allows you to assign CC messages essentially to macros and then automate them on the timeline. And that is the workflow game changer that I want to show you today. Okay, so I have here this short little sketch on piano. Let's listen. Now let's say I want to automate the sustain pedal. Now with Live 12 and the addition of CC control, I can actually just automate it on the timeline. In fact, sustain pedal is one of the default pads that loads in. And it is also the first native Live device I've seen that actually has a button toggle. And what I wouldn't give for a button toggle to be an option on instrument racks. So now I can just open up automation and I can automate this on and off. And so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to turn off the grid and bring it on to add some body to these chords. Amazing, beautiful. Like, that is so much faster. But the thing that really makes CC control excellent is when we start working with third-party plugins. So if I scroll a little further down on the timeline, I have that exact same sketch, but now orchestrated for a string section. Let's listen. And if I just go ahead and open up my first violins here, I'm using Contact 7 and I am using Cinematic Studio strings. Now, any good instrument library that is meant to mimic a real-world instrument is going to try to have the full range of playability. And that means you have to manage a number of different playing methods. For example, with strings, we have bowed playing or plucked playing. And the system that is used for managing that is called key switching. And the lowest octave on the keyboard then is used to switch between sample sets. So you can go between staccato playing or legato playing or tremolo, harmonics, whatever. And so then the common way to use that is to add a MIDI note where you want the key switch to happen. I personally hate doing that. Now with CC control, I can actually automate key switches on the timeline just by assigning the appropriate MIDI message to the correct macro. I'm going to hit A to open up our automation view. And we can see that I have 2 lanes of automation open on these first violins. One is for mod wheel, which is controlling the dynamics of the instrument. And the other is for key switch, which is switching between the different playing styles. And so we go back and forth between pizzicato, staccato, and legato playing. Let's listen. And this is so much faster of a workflow. It is finally introducing MIDI CC programming into Live's excellent automation workflow. Now, where this workflow gets completely supercharged is when we combine CC control with instrument rack, specifically the ability to set up macros and variations. Because you can see here, as I scroll down these variations, there are so many different playing styles available for these first violins. And having to memorize key switches sucks. Having to constantly have the actual instrument itself open and on my screen to remember these key switches sucks. So let's say that I want these final 3 notes before the downbeat that finishes this cue to be played tremolo instead of marcato. All I would need to do is double click here on tremolo and see that the key switch needs to be set to 57. I can then re-enable my automation, grab this, and just bring it down. And then this will be tremolo now. Doesn't really sound great, but I was able to execute it quickly, and that's really what matters here. And now, because this automation is happening on the timeline, it becomes so easy to copy it over to like parts. So let's actually then scroll down here and look at our cellos. So here's the cello part. And I want to double it on the basses. So let's bring the basses in, and I've already copied the MIDI clip over. But we can already hear that it isn't mimicking the articulation that I have written out here. So then all I need to do is go to the appropriate automation lane. So in this case, mod wheel. I'm going to find the mod wheel on the cello, and I'm going to go ahead and copy this automation, paste it into the mod wheel, and then let's grab the key switch as well. So I'll grab the key switch automation and paste it over here. And now these two are going to be playing in sync with the same articulations, the same dynamics. That is so fast to execute. It is so much faster than it has ever been in Ableton Live before. Let's hear the whole thing together before wrapping up. Now, orchestrating in Live isn't necessarily perfect. I'm still waiting on a great MIDI timecode implementation, but it is good now, and the workflow feels good. So if you're a composer who's maybe sworn off orchestrating in Live or overlooked it, give it a try. It's good now. It's really good. Before we wrap up, I just want to give you one reminder that my new course, Beginner Synthesis in Ableton Live, is now available. The link is in the description. If you enjoy the way that I teach Ableton Live on this YouTube channel, and you do want to learn synthesis, consider signing up for that course. It's a space in which I can take my same teaching style, but actually go in depth and teach you not only the how, but the why behind synthesis works. I'm already getting great feedback from students who have enrolled. I hope to see you there. And if you're new to my channel, consider liking, subscribing, leaving a comment. I am working really hard to try to grow this channel to 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. And I put out a new video every single Friday. Till next time.